discussion. Of course, the focus will be on the School Social Work Services Unit, and we're going to be having an interesting discuss today. They will be sharing their insights, their insights and experiences, of course, on the School Social Work Services Unit activities. They'll be talking about the initiatives and, how they're making a positive impact in the lives of our children in Lagos State. So one more time, I want to say welcome our esteemed guests to MYSD Spectrum.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. So straight away, we'll be, just going straight into our discussion. Yes, cool. Everyone, just from listening to that name, that's the School Social Work Services. I think if you people already have, like an idea, so to say, of what the direction we're heading towards. So straight away, we'll just be talking, and so I will be, directing my questions first of all to our director, School Social Work Services. So, ma'am, what is the unit all about?
School Social Work Services is primarily concerned with the well-being and psychosocial functioning of students below tertiary level in the state.
So
I mean the primary and secondary school students in the state.
Okay, so anything beyond secondary is not under your purview?
No, it's not.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about your roles. So, what exactly do you do in this unit? You said so. What are the things what are you concerned with?
Yes, our concern is that every child must attend school. Apart from that, they must be focused.
Okay. Okay, so Mr. Idowu Adewale, what is the School Social Work Services Unit? How does it contribute to the ministry's objectives?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, as a youth development ministry,
yes,
School Social Work Services is committed to ensuring that our children in schools, they are well monitored. Their welfare is paramount, and we try as much as possible to ensure that they are prevented from any kind of abuse in any form entirely. And like Mrs. Oladepo said, my director, we want to further ensure that they are really focused because their education is paramount. And peradventure, they should come in contact with anything that will interfere, in that process. The School Social Work Services is there to respond.
Okay, all right. Mrs. Oduyebo, Miriam, could you just take us through the unit's activities and perhaps let's get to know, let's be familiar with the services you render in this unit, yes.
Thank you so much. Like is expected of us, we the social workers in the school social work, basically we go into prevention and intervention. Intervention. So that's the major services we render to the students, school students. So under prevention, so we are fully involved in creating awareness programs. Programs in schools. So where we are waking the students against all form of social vibes and abuse for good moral value, development of their self-esteem, academic excellence towards building a better society.
All right.
So aside that, we also involved the parents and guardians, the school administrative and relevant stakeholders to capture the activities.
Okay, so that's under awareness.
Exactly.
Okay, moving ahead.
So we're moving ahead to intervention. I just talk about prevention. Exactly.
Okay.
So under intervention, so this is where the professionals intervene in solving all issues that's likely to affect the academic pursuit of the students in the school.
All right, so prevention and intervention strategies. How do you collaborate with you talked about school administrators, parents, these stakeholders. So how do you collaborate with them? I'll be directing this to our director. How do you collaborate with the school administrators, the parents, stakeholders to support students' well-being? Because they are the main focus. So how do you coordinate that?
My colleagues mentioned that the school teachers, the counselors are involved in this process.
Okay.
So when they identify, the next thing is they inform us.
Okay.
By the time they inform us, our colleagues,
the counselors,
the counselors and the school teachers, they are closer to the students. So when they identify issues concerning the children, they call on the social workers, because we have officers that covers the entire state, both in primary school and secondary school level. Then they intervene. They make sure that they visit the school, conduct social investigation, and the social investigation conducted will resort to the kind of the measure and treatment that will be adopted or that will be utilized.
So can we talk a bit of what are the most common challenges faced in this unit? Because now you spoke about identifying, and then so the teachers and the counselors, they interface with your people in your unit. What are the challenges you face most times in school social work?
School social work services. The challenges is mostly on the part of the parents. Some parents, we find some they don't always want to cooperate.
Why is that so?
Maybe oftentimes ignorance. Because we are for the welfare of their children, and the ultimate is for them to live positive life and for better academic performance in the best interest of these children.
Of course.
Yes.
Great one. Okay, so a quick...
So, and the ignorance as well that we are talking about is being addressed by the continuous sensitization program that we carry out.
Okay, in the schools?
In schools.
Okay.
And some of our colleagues also make sure that they attend the parents' forum.
Okay, like the PTA meetings.
PTA meetings to educate the parents as well.
Okay, because that's a good one. But how when you talk about ignorance, something that popped up in my mind was the fact that a few of the parents, we have disparity in educational levels. Some of them are not. So, are there any ways you try to mitigate that? Sorry about that. All right. So in reaching out to this parent, are there any strategies? Because now we might have disparity in educational level and all that. How do you address that? Yes. Okay, just
the ignorance.
Yes.
I told you earlier that the continuous sensitization.
Yes.
Visiting the schools.
Yes.
Addressing the parents' forum.
Yes.
As it has gone a long way to solve some of these problems.
Okay.
So, and also we make sure that our children are also we continue to educate the children as well in terms of awareness program.
Okay.
Then we also synergize with the school administrators.
Okay.
We synergize with the school administrators because they are closer to the children.
Okay. Now, for your activities, do you only do this with the public schools, or Mr. Idowu Adewale, I'll be addressing this to you, or do you also interface with private schools?
Yes. But largely public schools.
Largely public schools. Okay.
But at the moment, we are going full scale into private schools.
Okay.
But that notwithstanding, because from time to time, we have always received reports, from private schools too.
Okay.
You understand? Because, school social work services is no more a new thing.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's no more a new thing in Lagos State. And I think the Lagos State government is really pushing hard on this, So once we have reports coming from private schools, it could be directly, it could be through our partner agencies,
Okay.
So we, of course, step in as well.
Okay.
Because, by and large, our major concern is the interest of the child.
Interest of the child. Okay. Now, I see, you talked about prevention, awareness. Okay. Mama, you wanted to chip in something?
In addition to what my colleague has said.
Yes.
That we get referrals. From private schools.
Private schools, okay.
NGOs.
Okay.
Members of the community. And the enlightened parents.
When you say enlightened parents?
Yes. Parents that understand, that value
your input.
The services.
The services.
Okay. I see. Going through the brief about what your unit does, I see that you also, you also have. It's on your purview addressing bullying in schools and all that abuse, physical and emotional, sexual abuse and all that, and that's I think that should be part of your intervention strategies, if I'm not correct. So can we talk a bit about that, Mrs. Odriebo, please?
Thank you so much. Under that, we mentioned issues affecting school children, which include social vices and abuse.
Yes.
Under social vices, we have cultism, drug addict, and all the rest.
Cultism.
Yes. So the other one is abuse, which it could be physical, emotional, sexual, and all that. So when it comes to illustration of a sexual harassment or sexual abuse, is expected of a social worker that, once that such cases is referred to us, so what we do is we do our interventions.
So take us through that process. How does it work?
So what is once that referral is given to us, what we do is this: we create a responsive atmosphere.
Okay.
By at least responding to the call immediately. Okay. So after responding, we'll conduct social investigation. This entails interview, ensuring that allegation is it real or not. So after that has been done and confirmed the needs, we ensure, if it is sexual abuse I'm talking about, we ensure that the survivor is medically taken care of. So after the information, the other information for the apprehension of the perpetrator will be given to the law enforcement agency that will come in to make a proper arrest and arrange the perpetrator before the court.
Great one. Okay, so how about when it's not in the school but maybe at home, but somehow the report gets to your table? How do you address this? Is that still under your purview?
Yes.
Once the survivor
is
a school child, it is our responsibility
to address it.
It is our responsibility.
So in this kind of case, what are the most common challenges you face as a unit when addressing issues like this? Mr.
Sex abuse.
Yes, abuse, physical abuse, probably from home, or what if it's maybe not even a caregiver? What if it's a teacher?
Well, the process is simple. And like Mrs. Odriebo earlier said, intervention first. You understand? Of course, we go to intervene, once a case is reported to the unit, necessarily we go to intervene to investigate. That is social inquiry. To confirm.
So first, social inquiry.
Yes, to confirm, because that is what will precede other things, other steps to be taken.
Okay.
Now, maybe if I'm not going to repeat her again, the girl or the child or the survivor, let me use the word survivor, firstly will have to be taken, to a hospital to assess care. You understand? Because, it can be so serious sometimes,
The trauma and all.
Yes, and from there, the perpetrator, we go after the perpetrator. That is, we work in synergy with the police as well.
Yes.
Okay? So once we're able to arrest the perpetrator, right? Now, of course, it's not possible for us, it's not proper to allow such a survivor to continue to stay in that environment where she was abused. So we further the steps, by working on, a shelter. We rescue the girl working on a shelter, for her. And government has quite a lot of facilities.
Okay, so that's where the fostering unit comes in, or
no, that's a different.
That's a different.
Aspect.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
all right. Okay,
this is
protective custody.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. So, so that's just a way to shield the subject.
You mentioned
yes
that assuming the teacher is involved.
Yes, we're coming to that. Yes.
Yes. So when teachers mostly we get report from the parents.
Okay.
And it is our responsibility to investigate. Social investigation will determine if it is physical abuse or sexual abuse. So the law enforcement agent will be involved for them to do their own criminal investigation while we continue with our own social investigation, as well as ensuring the stability of the survival. So, yes.
All right, so dear listener, I'm sure you are gaining a lot from our discussion. Feel free to connect with us 080-991-20777 and 091-538-77127. Any of this will do. A quick look at the traffic situation at this time. Let's see, we have this one fresh from the Ojodubaja axis, where movement from Baja okay, inwards or Tedola is good to go. The return journey is looking okay. Isheri lower. Oh, we have a call. Let's just quickly take that before we go back to that traffic update. Hello, good afternoon. Great to have you on the show with us. Your name?
Hello, good evening, sir. Am I on to MYSD?
Yes, MYSD Spectrum, yes.
Yes, good evening. This is Mr. Yusuf from Lagos.
Great to have you on the show.
Yes, thank you. My question now is this. Once the case, maybe in a situation where we have a case reported to the police at the initial, at the initial stage, is it the responsibility of the police to report to their own unit, to complete the task, or the police can just handle the case and leave this social work unit?
Okay, so you mean what if the first point of complaint was the police station? Is that what you mean?
Yes, sir.
Would they still revert to the unit?
Yes,
or just take it up? Okay.
Yes, that's my question. Thank you.
All right. Would that be all? Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf. And who will answer this? Who do we address this to?
We mentioned earlier that once the matter involves a school child, so the only responsibility that the parent is to inform the social workers.
Okay.
Social workers.
So, but you understand his question? He
I understand that if the case was
straight to the police,
the police they have the gender unit
in
that handles children and family matters.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so and they will just take it up from there. Okay, so moving ahead now, I see that.
I want to add something to what my director just said.
Okay, still on this. Okay, let's talk about that.
It is expected that if the case is reported down to the police directly, so we expected them to do the needful by doing the other enforcement.
Okay.
But when the child is in need of a safe home, it is expected of the police to relate with the social worker or the ministry directly for placement of the child in an appropriate orphanage home.
Well, how because I know this thing, like you mentioned, the children, a lot of times they are traumatized and all that. And I know the police officer might not be so very trained in knowing how to protect the identity of this child, shelter this child. So how do we go about this?
Sorry, there's a unit in the police station called FSU.
FSU, yes, okay.
Sir. So they are well trained to handle such
and do we have
cases.
that in every police station?
Not in all police stations.
Okay.
In addition,
yes,
they relate directly with the child protection unit of the ministry.
Okay.
And the child protection unit of the ministry oversee the affairs of all the registered and recognized orphanage homes in the state. So because you find out that a child that is traumatized,
yes,
so social investigation can lead us to the fact that the home is no more safe for that child. And the appropriate thing is to place the survivor in protective custody for the emotional stability. And as a school child, there is a need for continuity of our education.
All right, let's take this call. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Who are we speaking with?
My name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
I'm from Aditi at the moment.
Okay, please go on.
Basically, I just overheard your conversation
Yes.
with your guest concerning abused school children.
Yes.
And the question I was thrown to you just now, saying if the incident was initially or firstly
Reported to the police, yes.
Yeah, and your guest, one of your guests there, mentioned, after thorough response, she mentioned orphanage home.
Yes.
Is it in a situation whereby a child is being abused and the children have parents, are they going to be taken to an orphanage home or a foster home? Because these are two different things.
Okay, so
orphanage is different from somebody that could not, habitate with their parents or guidance.
All right.
Yes.
So I think we need to set the record straight. You mentioned not orphanage, you mentioned protective custody.
Yes.
Protective custody, if I got that correctly. All right.
Yes, you mentioned orphanage. Yes, I had mentioned orphanage.
Let's allow the guest to respond. Thank you very much.
So why we mention orphanage?
Yes.
We have some of these children,
Yes.
these survivors of abuse, that are some of them are victim of circumstances.
Okay.
Maybe they find themselves in the house of a guardian.
Oh, okay.
So instead of taking good care of them, they are abused, they are molested.
So in certain circumstances.
So by the time I
yes.
mentioned that,
Yes.
the social investigation will determine the next line of action.
Okay.
So while we are working on the fit family member
Yes.
that will take care of this child, there is a need for emergency shelter for the child. Pending the time we are going to get a fit family member that will take responsibility, or pending the time that if the child, the parents, the biological parents are not in Lagos, that there is a need for us to contact them, and probably if they can come down to Lagos to come and take the child, or we transfer the child, that particular survivor, to the parents through through the state liaison office.
Okay, great.
So it is not that the child is going to be in the. It's just for emergency purpose.
Okay. Dear listener, caller that called, I hope you got that right. All right. So this unit has a very, very big impact on the community, on the children, building a supportive environment for them. And, Mr. Ido Adiwale, I'll be asking about this. We've been talking about the problems, this, that. How about the success stories? Your unit. Yes, let's talk about that. Reduce social vices, positive impact on students' lives. Can we talk a bit about that? I know you're also involved in, talking to children against drug abuse and all this, against cultism. So let's talk a bit about this.
Well, from the little we've all been saying, for us to be able to even, get to rescue the survivors,
yes,
right, is one big success, because not just even rescuing them,
yes,
but having to place them, in a protective custody, at least, so that they're away from the environment where they were hurt or abused, and aside from that, even linking up, in the case of a survivor,
yes,
who was rescued from a guardian who abused her, the eventual linking up of such survivor with the family is a plus too.
Is a plus.
Yeah, it's a plus, because when Mr. Ladipo mentioned linking up with, relating with liaison offices,
yes,
it takes a process. Even as we are here speaking right now, we have one or two of such cases that we are closely, calling, in contact with their relations.
And you keep following up?
Yes. That is those who are not in Lagos. Because these guardians, they will want to sort of be very
elusive and all that.
Yes. It's only when we have a case, maybe the survivor is a mind, is extremely, maybe a child. When I say extremely, that she's not at least able to communicate very well.
Very well.
Such case can
maybe like a toddler.
Yeah, such case can be, can stay a bit longer. But we do not skip anything there. We do not skip doing the needful. We make sure we keep looking for ways to ensure that they are integrated back to the family, because that is the best environment they can live in, a family setting. No matter where we keep them, government home or private home, once they attain a certain age, they become young adults, so they obviously have to go, Then the unit has been able to also enroll some of these survivors, into diversion skill acquisition programs.
Amazing.
Yes.
Just so to empower them, so that going out into the real world, they would have. Yes, that's a good one. Okay. Anything else to add? Okay.
This continuous awareness program has made some of these children to gain confidence to speak out.
To speak out.
So. To speak out, including the primary school
students. Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk about collaboration with other agencies, because I see that your roles overlap with a lot. So how do you collaborate with?
We work with other relevant agencies.
Okay.
At the Office of Quality Assurance.
Yes.
Ministry of Basic Education.
Okay.
Domestic and
sexual violence
agency, we receive reference from the agency.
Amazing.
And we have been working in collaboration to ensure the safety and the best interest of these school children.
Okay, so even as we bring the program to a close, let's talk about future plans, future initiatives, yes, of the unit.
So we are talking about the way forward.
Yes.
So we have done much, and we continue to do a lot of things. So we have put in place to further engage our parents, our guardians, so and the community leaders, and especially the religious ones. So that whatever we are doing, we carry them along to be able to at least to cope this issue of abuse and social violence in society. And I said that there's some other hard area that's very difficult to reach. There are some schools that are in a hard area. So we have intention of reaching out to them, to sensitize them, to give them an awareness on what is happening in the society.
Okay. Does that involve liaising with the community development?
That's exactly what we're doing. We're going to liaise with the community leaders, religious leaders, and bring in the parents and guardians also. So this will help a long way to cope the issue of abuses in the society.
So from the next academic session, we're going to embark on visits.
Which is in September?
Yes, to add to rich areas.
Okay.
So to further enlighten both parents, communities, as well as pupils, because their best interest is paramount for the society.
Amazing. All right.
Sorry.
Yes.
Let me add that.
Yes.
Though I said it earlier that we are going full scale now.
Full scale.
Private angle.
Yeah.
You understand?
You said you were there already. Yes.
We just continue, at least as he said.
Yes.
We'll keep pushing. So we want to at least be able to reach out to a lot of firms, so that information will be deeply infected into the life of these children.
Okay. Well. Okay. So straight away we'll be wrapping things up. So I'll just want to do a closer. So moving forward, and in conclusion, what do you have to say? Because I know a few people listening, they would want to reach out, they would want to collaborate, they would want to give their own inputs. How do we do this?
I want to say that the Ministry of Youth and Social Development, that is involved in ensuring the well-being of children in Lagos State, and school social work services is specifically in charge of the school children.
Yes.
And we know that Mr. Governor Babatunde Sanwo-Olu is also passionate about the welfare and well-being of children in Lagos State. I would say that if they have complaints, that they are free to walk in to the Ministry of Youth and Social Development, Block 18, the Secretariat, Alausa Ikeja. And we also have the contact numbers that we can share with the listener.
All right, quickly, in a few seconds, let's just have that, if possible.
Yes. I've said 002.
Okay.
341. 3203.
Okay.
Also, 003 258 8269. Can I repeat?
No, we have run out of time. Thank you so much for an interesting discourse. Last time we've run out of time, but that's all, dear listener, for today's enlightening episode of MYSD Spectrum. Thank you to our amazing guest, Mrs. Oladipo Mujida, Director, School Social Work Services Unit, right there in the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. Mrs. Odiebo Miriam, Deputy Director, School Social Work Services Unit, and of course the gentleman, Mr. Ido Adewale, Deputy Director, School Social Work Services Unit. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Dear listener, we have come to the end of an amazing edition of this show. Special thanks to Adeola Olabisi, Director of Public Affairs and Ministry of Youth and Social Development, and not forgetting our Executive Director, Tayo Okunle, for their tireless efforts. Remember, social development is the foundation of a brighter future. Together, we can build a more inclusive and prosperous society. Stay tuned for more inspiring updates, insights, and success stories from the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development. Until next time, keep shining your light and making a positive impact in your community. My name is Akan Usen. Saying goodbye for now.
Welcome to Train Schedule.